Take a break from your busy schedule and join Harold Sala for Guidelines, a 5-minute commentary on living.
Does it seem strange to you that the day which is named in remembrance of Jesus Christ's death on the cross is called Good Friday in the English-speaking world? Why not Black Friday or the Friday of Mourning? Actually, the latter term comes closer to what the day is known in German than the term Good Friday. The German word, so I am told, is Karfreitage. The prefix Kar is obsolete, but the balance of the word means mourning or woe. Hence, the German word refers to a day of mourning and suffering. In Latin America, it is known as Holy Friday. Slavs and Hungarians call it Great Friday. In Norway, it's called Long Friday. Some believe that in the early days of the church, the day was called God's Friday, a term which eventually evolved into Good Friday. What happened on that day, or at least the event we remember on that day, is far more important than what it is called. So what did happen? If you saw Mel Gibson's very graphic film entitled The Passion of the Christ, you were confronted with the physical realities of what took place. As he prayed, Jesus was seized in the Garden of Gethsemane by the temple guard who brought him before the Sanhedrin. That was a council of Jewish leaders who didn't have the authority to execute anyone, who in turn only sent him to Pilate, then to Herod, then back to Pilate, who reluctantly gave the order that Jesus would be crucified. How he was crucified, and even by whom he was crucified, is unimportant in light of what it represented. The cross represented death for one who should have never died. It represented sacrifice performed by one to whom we should have bowed in worship and adoration. It has well been said, there was no room for him at the inn when Jesus was born, but there was room for him along with all of humanity at Golgotha's hill. Sam Jones, an evangelist of the past century, said the cross was a symbol of God's heartbreak over a world that had gone astray. It was the culmination of a very costly love which God had for all humankind, for you as an individual. And it is here that you can come, find forgiveness, and the blazing fire of love kindled there can set you on fire when its sparks fall on the dryness of your heart and life. The cross also represents what should happen to our lives when we are brought into confrontation with the message of Good Friday. Here's how Paul put it. I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I live in the body, I live by the faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. The cross both represents death and life. Death to sin, life to righteousness. Death to self, life to the Spirit. Death to my fleshly desires, life to the indwelling presence of his Spirit, which changes me into his image. Time allows only one more thought. The cross also means that blood was spilled, and the shedding of blood at that tree brought redemption. Paul put it like this: in him we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of sins in accordance with the riches of God's grace. Was it really Good Friday? What happened there is the best news ever proclaimed. We used to sing, "There is power in the blood." Yes, it is Good Friday.
You've just heard Dr. Harold Sala with Guidelines, a 5-minute commentary on living. If you would like to listen to the program again, download a copy, subscribe to our e-commentary, or view other resources, visit guidelines.org. We would like to hear from you too. You can email us at info@guidelines.org. That's info@guidelines.org. Thanks for listening, and we invite you to join us again for the next edition of Guidelines.